I can't believe how fast it's been, but there's already a city expansion coming to Rio. That's right, it's been announced. There it is. Rio's new expansion is coming, and it's coming tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. 20,000 properties are going to be dropping tomorrow with this expansion, and along with that, 22% of them are going to be dedicated to FSA. So that's actually a pretty big chunk. And there's a lot of properties in general coming. And to make this even more exciting, we have ourselves an epic racetrack announcement that we get to talk about, and you have to see this. Hey there, John and Ray here, ssftg. Welcome to the video. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome, my friend. I hope to earn your like and subscription today. Rio de Janeiro is obviously taking hold and quickly growing, right? This addition of properties is going to push it very close to 90 or 100,000 total in the area. So some of these areas are going to be interesting because they're known about collections, right? Remember when Rio's collection announcement came out, they told us all of them, including the ones that aren't released yet. So in this expansion, we're actually going to be kind of taking a trip down memory lane, like the old school days of Upland, and going through and knowing what these collection areas are ahead of time and kind of shark tanking our way through there. It's going to be wild. And of course, you Need for Speed racers, you Forza racers, or Forza, however you want to say it, right? I'm going to get some heat on that one. You know my pronunciations, come on, I'm terrible at it. On top of that, right, we also have that super awesome racetrack announcement that we get to talk about, and I cannot wait for this. I already kind of plugged it a little bit, but if you're into racing games at all, this track may be a bit familiar for you. So, onto the Rio de Janeiro expansion. Tomorrow is going to bring a new wave of properties to the Rio area. Of these new zones being added, like we talked about, we do have 22% of them being allocated to FSA and about 20,000 new properties coming in as a whole. There are a lot of new neighborhoods in here, but like we've talked about before, we're taking a trip back to memory lane here because, well, before vanilla mode, Upland used to tell us what the collection areas are going to be. Well, here we are, right? We had the vanilla mode on launch, but on the expansion, we don't have vanilla mode. We know what the collections are ahead of time. So this is going to be a little bit of fun here. As an example, Estacio, Jardín Botánico, and Tijuca, whatever. Those are collection areas that people know about already. Because of that, though, remember, all of the mint prices have been recalculated. So all of the mint values in these areas are going to reflect their new prices. That means that some of these zones, like Estacio and Jardín Botánico, those might not be very cheap. They're going to be relatively expensive because the perks on those are like 1.8 something X on the boost. Well, you can see what that's going to do to the price then. Now, after the main collection property areas are minted out and kind of served in the buffet to everybody who's got the available UPIX to dump into them, remember, the pricing may be a bit of a sticker shock when people see it. They're like, holy crap, it costs what? I thought Rio was cheap. Well, the rest of it might be, but that collection property might not be. That's actually kind of a hidden benefit in my mind. If you've got extra UPIX to dump in and you're looking to put it in a collection, what better spot to park it in those more expensive properties because they are more expensive? That means they're going to be earning more because they're boosted too. I don't mind it, honestly. I think it's a really great way is waiting for the collections after you know about them and then going in and minting them. That's one of my favorite things. That's why I think Bel Air is such an incredible spot. That's why I think the Pacific Palisades and all these places in LA are so incredible because they've been recalculated. And now, yeah, they're more expensive, but think of the boosts, think of the earnings, right? What a great place to park. So again, you've got to be a little bit on your guard here because people know what the collections are. They know where they are. They're going to be hunting for them, and there is going to be a heck of a lot of competition. But if that's your jam, it's going to be fire. I love this kind of stuff. And speaking of fire, I just found this out, but did you know that the zone in Rio, Botafogo, right here, Botafogo, if you translate that to English, it literally means set it on fire. How awesome is that? And what a better way to segue into our next racetrack announcement, because that is exactly what this track is going to do. It's going to set it on fire, the Rio Botafogo Bay Raceway. If you haven't seen it yet, I am pumped to be the one to bring it to you. I am happy to introduce to you the Rio Botafogo Bay Raceway. And I love the rhyming of the name. Oh man, I'm a big fan of that. One of our local Woodhood residents, 396 Max Damon, is working on a few gorgeous track designs in Rio and put together an entire building plan, a minting plan, a dedicated Discord server, and they've already gotten all of their tracks sanctioned on the URL. If you're a fan of racing in any way, shape, or form, then you can't miss this one. The track itself is incredible. The views are immaculate. I mean, we're in Rio after all. And as far as racing goes, I mean, you can't really ask for a better location. Let's segue over into the Botafogo Need for Speed race, or perhaps Forza, or Forza, however you want to pronounce it, motorsports. Those tracks, well, I mean, you're looking at it right now. So if you've raced those in-game, well, you're gonna know exactly what this is all about, and you'll know that this is an incredibly fun track to go ripping around. So if you're a fan of racing and you're interested in this one, make sure to jump on over into the Botafogo Bay Discord server or stop in and say hi on their URL Discord channel. Remember, all of their tracks are sanctioned, so you'll find their channels in there too. Get those race cars ready because it's getting hot in Rio, in Botafogo. Man, what a cool name. If you left Rio and flew back after the initial minting and all of that fun stuff, listen, all right, I know that the plane tickets aren't necessarily the cheapest. I mean, if you're talking real world value, you're talking like almost $4 or $5 to fly over here, depending on where you're flying from. So it's not necessarily the cheapest thing in the world. I get it, right? And it takes about 2 hours, depending on where you're flying from. Again, I budgeted for 2 hours, took like 1 hour and 40. But considering that when new zones open up in Rio, most of them are minting for 2,000, 3,000 or so, unless you're in the collection areas like we talked about. They've all been flipping for around 20,000 to 30,000 or more, depending on how cool they are, or how popular they are, or if they have any tags or any of that stuff. So making a $5 investment to jump on the plane to fly over here, to then possibly mint something for 3,000, sell it for 20,000, that to me seems kind of worth it, right? That's definitely up my alley in what I'm looking to do personally. You can see I'm already here. So regardless of what you're in Rio for, whether you're buying up trackside properties on the Botafogo Bay Raceway, man, I'm so pumped to get that thing going and seeing some of those cars ripping through there when we can do that. Oof, I can't wait. Or if you're just heading over to Rio to get your flip game on, there are plenty of things to do over here. If you have any questions about the Raceway or Rio or anything else in general, make sure to drop them in the comments below. You know I always love hearing from you all. Until the next one, enjoy. I wish you all the best of luck trying to grab some of those properties around the racetrack or some of those new properties in the Rio expansion. There are going to be some fun ones, so have the best of luck out there, and we will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. See you in the metaverse.